Good morning, Hallowed family. This is After Dawn, the show where we sit down and have a cup of coffee with the cast, crew, and creators behind Hallowed Studios Productions. I'm Solomon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Grizz.
Hey, mate. How you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. How about you?
We're doing good. Yeah, we're going to go over Apotheosis, Episode 8, Legend Part 2. The band is joined by Kareem. And let's see, they proved some snack machines that turned into interrogations, which turned into slightly scaring older ladies. And involved getting some fake IDs, baby dragons eating Cheetos, making a mess of a car, and some bro cuddling in a motel room, and some heart-to-hearts. It was a good episode. It was a lot of fun. And speaking of people being in the episode, we have Coda. Hello. How you doing, Sticker?
Hello.
And we have Bloodied Porcelain, the one making it all happen.
Hello.
And yeah, it was a really good session. And I got a question for both of you. And this is what I like to do every time, just an icebreaker, getting everyone thinking about the characters, what they play. Porcelain, pick a character that you would like to think about right now, no matter how, like whoever you can think of. Let's see.
When you say character, do you mean player character or any
NPC okay. For you? Yeah. Let's say favorite like bedtime snack. Like they wake up at midnight and they're a little hungry, kind of thing.
Huh.
BP singing of Juan D and his TPS reports.
Oh, I love reading all these after action. This is all these ledgers are so good at midnight.
Speaking of Huang Di, it honestly his bedtime stuff would probably be something like, I don't know, like something really, really kind of bland and rigid, like saltines.
Oh Jesus!
He'd be like the least interesting bedtime snack ever, but that also somehow makes it the funniest, I think.
Oh, just what I needed, and opens a pack of saltines. Like, oh, you all right? You pop off there, wild one.
Right, precisely. I think
dinner at Huang Di's, they have white bread and then ice cream cones, not waffle, sugar cones.
I mean, at most, I think the most interesting thing I could picture him grabbing, like, as a quick snack, and it's only if somebody else had already made it, so it just happens to be available, is, like, shrimp toast.
A low-fat, like, club crackers, with no salt on them. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Sticker, save us. What's Coda's bedtime snack?
Her bedtime snack, once everyone has gone down, is a nicely toasted toaster strudel. And a bowl.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
Hey, at least she's actually toasting them now. Before, she just left them out on the fucking table.
Oh, no, she still eats them like that, but bedtime snack, toasted.
Oh, when it can't hurt your reputation of only eating them partially frozen. Yeah, okay, I see it now. Yeah. I see you. All right, thank you for answering that little goofy question. It's just fun, but yeah. Zal, take it away.
So, I suppose this is kind of a question for both of you. Is it just me, or is Pele seeming to get more into actually being a guide, offering a little more than just "I'm a tiny god, worship me," and actually giving a little more advice? And is that like intentional, or is that just something that's happening?
I have had him being a little bit more active, but like this season, they're interacting with a lot more from a mythological perspective. Like last season, it was mostly about survival, and there's only so much you can guide somebody with that. It's just sort of like just don't die. That's what I can tell you. Whereas this season, they're dealing with more pantheons. They're interfacing with a lot of supernatural beings and creatures that they've never had to deal with before. and that's kind of where I think guides tend to shine a little bit more. So yeah, he's been a little bit more guidey than he was last season. Flip side, he also has kind of made it a point to be like, look, I'm gonna help you, but also if you treat me poorly or I take offense to something, you're gonna know about it. So,
which is unfortunate because he's a cat and taking offense is what they do.
I don't know. I think there are some instances that have been far worse than others. Sticking him in a backpack was probably not a good move.
Some cats like cat carriers like that. Others, not so much.
Okay, but it wasn't like it was a backpack-style cat carrier. It was just a backpack.
Yeah.
And there was other stuff in there, so every time Coda moved, he was going to get shuffled around and made more and more uncomfortable.
Oops.
Stickers like hashtag sorry, not sorry.
I do agree though about Pele being a lot more of a guide. And I feel like now Coda is actually like she's also just listening more. Like she'll hear what he says, and at first she would kind of be like, "Well, I don't really care about that," or she would be like, "Well, I don't care," pretty much. But now she's like, this cat knows a lot. And, like, there's a reason why my mom gave him to me. Hey, Pele, what's your opinion on this? Or what's your opinion on that? And I think now she's starting to learn that she has a, a technical shoulder to lay on.
Realizing or him laying on her shoulder.
Realizing that there's a good reason to care about the things that he tells her about.
Yeah, actually. So I think now she's like, okay, I could stop being a brat and actually listen to my cat.
Oh my god, character growth.
I can't believe it.
Hey, we love to see it. Also, in my mind the other day, I was like, you know what? It's probably also because we haven't been completing a lot of labors that Pele's also like, hey, stop doing the dumb thing. So, yeah.
Straight up impatience. Totally just on Pele from a in-character aspect. Totally not just from the GM.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know you don't. So out of left field.
I definitely don't at all feel like I need to nudge things every so often after they spent an hour and a half in front of a door.
You're never going to let them live that down, are you?
Nope.
Good.
Are you kidding me? The way I phrased it, because I had to wait through it, was like I could have taken a nap during that time period and nothing would have happened. Yeah.
But so could I. That's the awful part. I'm running the show and I could have just walked away for an hour and a half and nobody would have noticed.
But speaking of slightly silly things, but I like Coda's plan and the way it was phrased to both Kareem and Oliver's like, all right, I'm going to go to the snack machine, and then dips. And then Oliver translating that for Kareem was like, I think she's going to go interrogate somebody, probably around a snack machine. And it worked out, kind of, except maybe things get a little dicey the next time you see her. Because we need you to guard a religious box is kind of terrifying.
Hey, the lady was excited. I succeeded.
She do you how do you think here's my question, I guess. How did Coda feel about the way that went down, like after everyone like gave their own opinions on it?
After everyone gave their opinions, that's when she was kind of like, okay, I probably could have worded this differently. But I think in her head, she's also like, but I don't know what I technically was allowed to say. She's like, because Scion stuff is delicate, but also can I just say to her, hey, this pantheon. Well, obviously she can't say pantheon, but she's like this, so on and so forth, blah, 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 blah. So I think in that moment, she's like, okay, I guess I could see how that sounds wrong. But then also she's like, well, but I also don't know how I would have said it any better without spilling my beans. So I think she's glad that people are going to come with her now to clear up the air. But she's like, at least I got someone.
Might have activated Homeland Security in the meantime, but you know.
She's like, I'm not exactly like my mom yet. I don't have a silver tongue yet, but I'm working on it. At least I was able to convince someone to do something without threatening them.
Yeah, so a lot of it is just like mechanically scions, because they have such a high legend and they have such a they can bring a force of personality to bear the way they could also bring like physical force to bear. Is that sometimes they can say the worst possible thing, but they still have the force of personality to pull it off. And that's basically what happened. And I don't want to say that she was excited. I feel like excited is a very strong word. She was confused and a little suspicious, and you basically smiled at her real good. And that helped her relax about it. And she was just like, okay, well, it seems like the hospital needs my help for something, and that's why I'm here. So I guess we'll do that.
Excited.
Well, I just remember like how you phrased the porcelain. Like, well, she thinks you seem really genuine and well-meaning. It's just like, oh
basically,
you seem like a nice kid.
Not excited.
Apprehensive. Yeah, and it did work. It did. She's willing to help.
Ish.
But does Coda have a plan to try to get her to like fully commit to the issue, or the problem? Not the problem. The prayer.
The plan.
The plan. Thank you.
Well, her plan is to let her home skillets clear up the slight possible miscommunication that could happen, and then roll with it. That's her plan.
Character growth.
Perfect plan.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
All right, I'm going to start this off, and then you guys got this. Cool.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah.
I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, because, I can't predict how she's going to react. And I can't also predict what Clint and Oliver are going to say to her. So I kind of can't predict what Coda's going to say either. And, Clint's got that, like, Clark Kent vibe. So she might be like, oh, of course I'll do it. And then we can, twist our arm a little bit more and get her to do exactly what we need her to do.
If only Coda had prophecy so she could predict.
If only.
I love that that's your answer. So like prophecy is genuinely that helpful. It's not.
Yeah, I know.
And with this group who spend an hour and a half in front of a door, do you not think they'll spend 4 hours trying to muddle out a prophecy about what a single fucking mortal will do?
That's true. Well, I mean, Gary might be able to do it better, but anyway.
Well, he'd be the one making the roll, but I 100% think that as a group, they would just spend 4 hours role-playing trying to figure out what a prophecy means, because prophecies are supposed to be unclear and not straightforward and kind of riddly. And, even then, you could totally misunderstand what it means.
It's true. It's true.
which would be hilarious and completely continue to blow my timeline.
Speaking of your timeline, I imagine it can be it can be fairly stressful to see it get blown up so much. But do you think there's any silver lining to it being blown, like seeing the actual roleplay and build and character building happening?
Oh, the roleplay and character building is amazing. I have no complaints about that. It is stressful to see my timeline go to shit, because I had plans for next season that are now just not going to happen. At least not next season. They're at least 2 seasons away now. It's also,
oh no, we have to have more.
It's also allowed me to expand on some of the stuff that was supposed to happen this season so that I can just make a whole season out of it for next season. So that'll be fun.
And then Sticker feels the dread.
The dread of what?
Of what the ST says will be fun.
Oh no, I'm always here for the fun. I feel great. Maybe not Coda, but I feel great.
It'll be fun for me.
And I'm happy to be here.
So, is Coda going to try to call Net and talk this out a bit more?
You know, what a great question, Grizz. Possibly.
Definite chance of a possible maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what BP said.
Results unclear.
Yeah.
Everything from an 8-ball.
I think Coda wants to, but I think what she kind of revealed towards the end of the episode is that she's just afraid that things are just not going to go well, and then the relationship will end. And this is her first relationship, and the first person that she's kind of been like, I like having you around. Because most people, she's just like, well, obviously, and now the band, but like most people, she's kind of always been, well, I don't care if you leave me. Like, you were that important to me anyways. Like, I don't care. I can move on. But for Net, she's like, holy shit. Wait, I don't think I can handle it if that's what this comes to. So she's kind of been afraid to talk to her. But at the same time, she knows she needs to talk to her. And like everyone has been mentioning, oh, you know, you guys just need to talk. And she's like, I fucking know we need to talk. But yeah.
So I'm going to lean back on my therapist chair over here. But is it much of a relationship if you can't talk to each other?
I was going to say, I'm sure the fact that she is too afraid to just like force a conversation to happen is totally helping the situation.
That's not a cortisone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We know where Net stands with everything that's going on, but now we need to hear it from Coda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's gonna take care.
I'm just putting that down in Shango notes, by the way.
Yeah.
Shango's bringing that dad energy to the fore in a big way.
Oh, you better believe it.
Like I said last time, or I think I said it during our highs and lows, Coda has officially been like, is Shango? Like, Shango has filled the father figure. What's the thing? Place in her heart down. She's just like, okay, maybe I'll text him and see how he's doing or something. But she's like, oh, but I don't want to bother him just in case he's busy or whatever. Just like with Bastet, she's like, I mean, she's really nice, but I don't really want to bother her if she's like busy or anything. And now with Net, she's like, oh, but I don't know if I really want to bother her if she's busy or anything.
As opposed to Clint, who is constantly texting everyone.
Give me affirmation. You give me affirmation. Can you give me affirmation? You give me affirmation. Like, Clint, God damn.
Someone
Clint.
affirm me.
I must be affirmed.
Affirm me.
Affirm me.
Yeah. So we got
Standing in-
quite the opposites amongst our three musketeers.
Wait, but it's actually because one person, like, I don't want to bother them. I need to bother them. And then the one in the middle going, I need to bother myself. I need to affirm myself. That's Oliver right now. Oh, God.
He's doing a much better job at that.
He
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oliver is
very
finally
proud.
coming to like accept that he's smart and capable and at least from an intellectual perspective can be a badass. And I'm really fucking proud of that growth. I'm like, yes, it's been hard fought, but we're here.
Yeah. Very proud of that guy. Said by Sticker and Coda.
All it took was for him getting laid by a dryad.
And finishing a big old paper in triplicate.
If only he could have slid in a "fuck you, Juan D" in there.
Swinging it back around to what we were talking about a second ago. But what would it take for Coda to force the issue with Net?
You know, what a great question, Grizz.
Grizz is just dropping bangers on us right here.
I need to write these down to put them in my journal.
BP's got a memory like a steel trap. I'm not even worried.
Yeah, but I don't.
I know, that's the fun part.
So I responded and I'm like, wait, what did I say? What is it going to take? Yeah, man, I don't know. But I think Coda is getting there. Because it's so like the labor she had to do, she had to choose someone and she got to go talk with people, get to know people whatsoever. And at the end of the day it had to be you have to decide who gets this. So she had to finally buckle down and make a decision. And then now with well, we'll see how well it goes. But when they're in the hospital, she's like, okay, I'm going to, while they find a room, I'm going to go find someone who I feel like would be perfect for this. And then, she's looking around and she finds this lady and she's like, this is going to be the lady. Without her being like, she's like, nope, this is her. I have a good feeling about this. This is her. So she's been kind of getting more comfortable just being like, I'm just going to make this decision that I thought about and I felt it instead of just being angry reaction to things happening to her, because she's always reacted, never, I guess, took initiative, I will say. So, yeah. So I'm thinking that with all these things that's been happening and with all these conversations she's having with different people, that's just like, girl, you gotta just do something. I think we're getting closer. Will I say next episode? Hopefully. Will I say the episode after that? I would prefer that. But I don't want the season to end with her not talking to Net.
Hell yeah, that's a response.
So I got limited time.
Let's go. Also, for the audience, this is a subplot that I've been like waiting for like more juicy bits to drop in between episodes for like me to like be like, nah, we're answering this question, okay? No, this is happening.
That is what After Dawn is for.
I know, but I had to wait till like deeper into the season before I was like, no, Coda, we're talking about this. No, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah, Coda really likes Net, but she's afraid. She's embracing that she's actually someone that's afraid of things.
Do you think that they'll ever get past what Coda did to protect someone that Net hates for good reason?
Nah. Nah. Because that's serious. Because, yeah, that's serious. And that's probably why Coda still has the dreams that she has, of dreaming of Net putting her Net has a sword, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Of like her dream, she's always waking up to Net putting a sword through her heart after finding out that she has Stefan's true name. So, she's scared because she's like, this isn't like, besides the fact that yes, we saved him and whatever, and he's gonna get a second chance or whatever. Well, hopefully get a second chance. Some of the stuff Kareem was saying is kind of sus. But that will hopefully get a second chance. She's also like, but still at the end of the day, I have his true name. And at the end of the day, Net still has some kind of feelings about everything that happened. So maybe in years to come, maybe. But no, I really don't think. That'll still be like a little rough patch.
I have thoughts, but I can't share my thoughts. So
I want to hear your thoughts.
because you won't talk to Net. You would know what the thoughts are if you would have a conversation with the person who's supposed to be your girlfriend, but you haven't seen in person in months, like almost a year now.
Okay.
We get a.
So that's Coda. What about me, Sticker?
We need some bandages. That was kind of painful. Listen to your damn BP.
That was so.
Listen,
goddamn.
I have been here this whole season waiting.
Vicious verbal assault on the After Dawn Studios area.
I have been the whole season. I have been waiting for the confrontation to happen, waiting for that conversation to finally happen. But Coda keeps like flirting with it and then not doing it, even when I like push buttons I think will get a reaction. Coda just shuts down. So until the conversation actually happens, I can't share anything. So
I whistle, looking around.
like I really thought that when Net sent that aggressive as fuck text message about Coda screwing up, like I thought that would like force the issue. Nope, Coda shut down even harder, and I'm like, God damn it. Yeah, like last season you were the most confrontational person. You were the first person to get up in somebody's face. This season not so much, huh?
Yeah. And it's difficult for her right now because she's like, I'm usually like the person that just does stuff. Like, I don't care. And I think she wanted to respond to that message with anger. And I think she shut down because she's like, well, I can't be angry at her for feeling this way. But then also, it's really not nice that she spoke to me like that. But at the same time, I get it. And then she just spiraled. And she's like, yep, I guess I'm not talking about this.
What I guess so here's my thing, and what I've kind of taken away from this is that it seems like Coda knows she screwed up. And knows that like this isn't a good situation, and I don't know if it's necessarily guilt, but it's definitely an unwillingness to face the outcome of her decisions.
Yes.
And the potential backlash there.
Well, if it ain't the consequences of my own actions, time to go the other way.
Oh, yeah. You remember back during the Hype Train episode when y'all asked what I was most excited for?
Mm-hmm.
Consequences. Mm-hmm. That's always what I'm most excited for.
Holding people accountable for their bullshit.
Slight seasoning of consequences. Oh, no, it's the whole jar. Oh, God.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you are spot on.
It's my favorite, too, honestly.
But pulling Sticker out of the hot seat a little bit. Here's a question for both, let's see, Sticker and BP. How do I phrase this? Who do you think has grown the most?
Oliver.
I think that depends on what you consider growth.
Well, Clint, I'm sure, has grown like an inch over the past couple of months.
If we're talking about just in terms of character shifts and changes, I'd argue that Coda and Oliver are pretty neck and neck. If we're talking about like purely positive changes, Oliver.
Yeah.
Positive and negative are both fine. Like, who's changed the most? And like, say it's like I don't know, from 0, like positive to negative, like on a sliding scale. Who's changed the most?
Like I said, I think that's probably in Oliver and Coda are pretty neck and neck in that particular degree.
Mm-hmm.
Because Coda has gone from someone who was a hothead who would rush into every situation without really considering it, would have a fight without really thinking about it and without really caring whether or not she was right or wrong, just that she was going to win. You know, and was kind of willing to throw down and make problems out of something that didn't need to be a problem, like a mountain out of a molehill kind of thing. And now she's gone almost completely in the opposite direction, where she's almost hiding from all of the confrontations. Whereas Oliver's biggest issue was always his self-doubt. And the fact that he was convinced that he was the one person out of the group of scions that we've met so far who didn't belong there. And he's finally started to realize that just because he's not able to like pick up a car and throw it the way that Clint could, or whip out a sword and fight a giant toe to toe the way Coda can, doesn't mean that he's any less deserving. So Coda has almost gone backwards in terms of like purely positive progress, but has still changed pretty significantly, while Oliver has gone like full speed ahead forward in his embrace of what and who he is. Clint, on the other hand, he's new. It's really hard to put the same measuring stick up next to him because he didn't have the season before this to kind of set a baseline. Like, we're getting his baseline now, which is that he needs other people to validate him.
Doesn't seem that's a stretch. He
is in constant need of external validation. But that's a lot like that we figured out with Oliver last season, that Oliver needed or was almost completely resistant to being validated. So even when people tried, he wouldn't listen. So we're getting Clint's baseline right now. We'll talk about progress at the end of next season.
Yeah, it's fair.
Unless you want to measure his progress in the number of phone numbers that he's gotten from gods, which I guess is a thing we could do.
I find that to be a different type of metric.
He's really good at it, and I don't understand it. Like, why? How did this become a thing?
Granted, Shango did that. It was like, oh, no, here, just have it. God, he's like, oh, I don't have your phone number. He kind of did that, like, baby, like, Clint thing that he does. Like, lowers his voice, like, oh, I guess I won't have yours. Like, here, fucking take it. Oh, yeah. Like, takes a fucking, yeah, it's not, he sounds like a kicked puppy.
The only time I think you should really worry, he is. I think the time you should worry is if he manages to get Huang Di's phone number.
That just won't happen.
Exactly.
I can't even worry about that. I'm going to tell you it's not going to happen. Huang Di's an asshole.
It's true.
I think you would take it as a challenge, though.
Right?
I mean, he's welcome to take it as a challenge. He's wrong, but he's welcome to, I guess.
And Sticker, you just said Oliver?
Oh yeah, I totally say Oliver. um yeah, Oliver is grown from being, oh, I'm not anything, or I'm not worth anything, or I don't deserve to be here, or I don't, all of that, to being like, first off, just being like, guys, I don't think this is a good idea that we're doing this. And then also just a lot of, well, actually, I can do this. Oh, and I could do this. It like he kind of never really spoke up about the things that he can do. It was just like, I mean, I can do this. And then Coda's just like, that's really cool. You should be yelling that from the top of a mountain that you can do that. And now he's just like, wait, guys, I can do this. I think we should be doing this and blah, 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 blah. You know, and now he's like, but I have a fate thread. I can just use this and we can blah, blah, blah. But then he also speaks up and he's like, yeah, but I'm a little tired, so maybe we shouldn't do this. Like, he's speaking up more for himself and embracing, you know, that he's Oliver. Like, I don't know. I'm very proud. I'm very proud. And Coda is very proud too. And
As
then
opposed to whining about not having the hammers, he's enjoying the fact he has every other tool in his toolbox.
yeah, like yeah, I most of the time I also don't really understand, like me, Sticker, I don't really understand most of the stuff he's doing, because he'd be like, oh, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna say this and blah blah blah. And he's like, and I'm like, okay, huh? And he's like, you get an extra dice. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. Which I feel like that's kind of what Coda is doing too, where she's like, I don't know what you did, but it's sick. So embrace it. Now, if only she could take that. So, yeah. And I mean, Coda has grown, but like what BP is saying, in a different way, a bit of an opposite direction. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to say Oliver. And then, of course, he's got the Riz and such. Yeah, that's it.
You know what? Since you mentioned it, it's popped into my head. Of both seasons going on so far, and this includes NPCs, who has the most Riz?
Vidar.
Huh.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Sorry, everyone.
That's like a deep fucking thought for me. Hold on.
Yeah, no, it's like, sorry, everyone. That question was BP going, oh, fucking, that's good. Who?
Yeah, well, so the position that I'm in right now is that I know what everybody's stats are, including the gods. So I know who mechanically has the most Riz, that we just haven't really gotten to see use it.
Mm-mm.
But I also,
it's like iceberg of Riz as well. So you only see like the type of
yeah. But
I feel you.
but I also know, I've obviously been there for all of the in-character moments. Huh. That's, I actually, I kind of want to say Chris has been the one that we have seen the most Riz from so far. Because Chris had a very, like, kind of rock star confidence and, like, amount of, like, he's just carried it off very well. You know what I mean? Whereas other characters, even Clint, has to work for it more than Chris ever did.
Okay.
It's fair.
That's difficult.
But also, I don't want to reveal which god has the most Riz. Mostly because that god gets enough praise as it is, and I'm not going to give them any more.
I mean, Lou did immediately go to get laid by a Valkyrie, like, within 7 seconds of meeting her.
Oh, they'd already met.
Oh, that's fair. Fair enough, then.
Preemptive Riz doesn't count.
I mean, it does, but
Yeah, I don't have an answer because every time I choose a person, then I'm like, oh, but that person's rosier than that person. And then I go, and then I'm like, oh, but that person's rosier than that person. But so far, it hasn't stopped.
Clear your mind. And
That's
whoever you think of, I know it's impossible. Whoever you think of first right now is the person. Go.
I thought of Santa. So okay.
Santa Claus? Santa Claus? Well, you
Santa
heard it.
doesn't even exist in the.
I know.
Also, it's November.
Breaking
I
news from
know.
Hallowed Haven Studios: Santa is the risiest NPC. This is not a drill. It's Santa. Santa's hot as fuck. It's Santa Claus.
Okay, let me actually clear my
Y'all have
mind
to be
again.
careful because I did a winter themed like Scion thing where I put together a homebrew pantheon.
That's
and
right.
Santa was one of the options, and people will want that shit to come back. And no.
Santa Claus found dead. Mrs. Claus likely perpetrator, but is no longer found. Authorities looking for Mrs. Claus. Repeat, Mrs. Claus. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, we could just move on to the part of this where everyone can ask anyone any questions that they would like.
I would like to know what y'all's favorite Coda moments have been between the two seasons.
Actually, it was this past episode for me, where it's just like you see Clint and he's high off his ass, and I just hear Sticker go, "Hell yeah!" like so immediately.
I don't even remember doing that.
Yeah. He's and then Clint's like, "Yeah."
That was a great moment.
It was such. It's like the first like 15 minutes, and it'll last for maybe a minute and a half, and it's just like, yeah, I'm stoned, and you're just
It's like, man, you're toked up.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, toked up. Yeah, that's actually probably it, because it was just like, man, you high as shit. Congratulations. It's like, hey, thanks. Yeah.
I personally really liked the conversation between Coda and Kareem in the first part of Legend.
Yep.
It's like, oh, they're going to keep their word, and Kareem's just like, are you sure? Do you know the stories about the Aesir?
Yeah, I've still been thinking about that. That's in my notes.
Might want to ask Oliver about some of the stories that of Odin and Loki before they were enemies.
Well, like, and that's one of those things that, like, even after they quote unquote stopped being allies, they were still frequently allies. Like, Odin's just as much of a tricksy bastard as Loki is.
I would posit that Odin might be even trixier because he's the one that that managed to come out on top. Loki got saddled with the fucking blame, and Odin's just laughing all the way to the bank.
To be fair, Loki also does a lot more of the asshole stuff, like outright.
It's true.
Odin just manages to somehow be an asshole in the aftermath and not have it all blow back on him.
Might be because he got the wisdom from hanging himself.
Yeah, that's got a lot to do with it. The all the charms and everything that allow him to do impossible things. So, and he's, you know, real good at foreseeing things. Loki is a trickster and Loki is a trickster while Odin is playing the game of survival that all of the pantheons play, like it's chess.
Yep.
You got a question? Sticker, you got a question?
Sticker trying to figure out what. their favorite Coda moment is.
Oh, I get to answer that too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, by all means.
Oh, I was thinking about what my question would be. Oh, shucks. My girl Coda. In both seasons, I can't think about season 1. I'm going to focus on season 2. Season 2, I loved her conversation with Damon.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. And, oh, yeah, her conversation with Damon. And then, dang it, it's all these deep conversations. Okay, yes, her conversation with Damon. And then when she flipped out on Lou. Before realizing that Lou was like actually.
You mean the moment that had me muting myself and going, no? Because I was terrified that you just managed to piss off yet another god that you really need on your side.
Yeah, that you somehow managed to piss off one of the most chill gods.
I mean, it was in good manner, because
Was it?
No,
yes,
no, it wasn't. That was not good manners. What are you talking about?
No, I know it wasn't good manners, but like good reason. I guess that's what I mean. Because she's like, okay, we're here with Stefan. Like, he's doing his thing. He's like chilling whatsoever. This person who just appeared with us is wiping off his face. So, and she's like, I just met him. Oh no, did someone sneak up on us? Like. So, she just all these different levels of like, oh my gosh, this thing's going wrong again. Like I just spent this much time in like Egypt doing stuff with my mom, and the second I come back, something's going wrong. And Stefan's right there, and we did so much for this. So, it wasn't her best moment, but I liked it because it was a little bit of her. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit of her being the way that she used to be, but then she did come back on it and go, okay, just tell me what you need me to do to protect your son's name, and then we're all good. But don't do all this other stuff. So I like that. And obviously her conversation with Damon was very nice. Which again, if Damon was arrived first.
You think Damon would be the partner instead of Ned?
She'd give it a try.
Well, then.
He'll do, to quote Legacy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Because she'd be like, I don't really like want to sleep with the Triads. But she's like, well, what about you, Damon? Like, what's your situation? Like,
Damon
are you with the deal?
Dryads. That's his situation.
No, I think she like Coda would be like, okay, but like, are you part of the deal too? Like, because you say like the whole house is open, we can like take whatever we want. So she'd probably be like, are you part of that too?
Sure, if you think you can keep up.
So is this part of the express package or the deluxe package?
Yeah.
Which upgrade do I need to buy to make sure that you're included?
Yeah.
Does this come with those little brown candies? I love those. Oh, sorry.
But she was crushing on Net by then, so she was like, I don't want to ruin this. So yeah, a little background info or inside the brain during that moment.
A little bit of Damien in my life. Anyway, any other questions for anybody else? Mm-hmm.
I know the last time I was on, I had a question for VP, but I don't remember what the question was anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to listen to the last episode I was on and then ask VP.
I mean, I have a great many questions I could answer, but or tell you that I won't answer in a lot of cases. But I don't know what your question was either.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, well. You know what? I have a question for y'all. y'all as in all three of you. Do you guys think Net is gonna what's your thoughts with Net and Coda?
With the way that Coda handles most conversations, I don't see that going very well.
Oh, so we're going for brutal honesty? Girl, you should have handled that months ago. Shit. Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That should have been your first phone call. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Taking notes.
Yeah,
Yep.
now it's basically just festered to every part of the relationship is infected with the you are trying to save the person who killed one of my best friends. And you're not talking to me about it, you're putting me on read, fuck you. At least that's what I'm getting from it.
Let's say you saved him, got his true name, and he's still living? Oh, I don't think so. Mm-mm. No.
I fucking love Grizz.
You might have just as well pulled out the guy that kicked her dog from a fire.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of a good equivalent, I'm not gonna lie. Just like, say, I don't know, back in the schoolyard, you got all your Pokemon cards, and the bully comes up and goes, fuck your Pokemon cards, and stomps on them, and you have, like, photographic proof, and you don't turn that into the teacher? Mm-mm.
Yeah, you just, like, eat the photograph.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, this will absolve him from all of his crimes. Like, nah, that's like, yeah. And now you're trying to, and then you're actively saving him as we speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't just save his life, you're now taking the steps to shorten his jail sentence.
Yeah. You're getting him out on bail. And he didn't ask you to.
Early for good behavior.
And he didn't have good behavior yet because it hasn't even been that long of a time. His jailer's, well, actually, that's not true. I was surprised his jailer's I mean, and you're almost done.
Well, let's not push almost.
So yeah, I was going to say you say almost, but let's be real here.
They got a good few of them done so far. You know, I mean, like it's not like it's slow progress over a couple of decades.
True.
Yeah. Like damn.
Personal opinion, without really thinking about, because I have the feeling I know how the thing with Net is going to go, but until I know what Coda says, I can't really ever be sure, because Coda is one of those characters that frequently surprises me. You know, like I try to push the right buttons to force the conversation to happen, and Coda just shuts down instead of gets angry, which is what would have happened last season. I think, especially if things continue the way that they are now, with Coda having these kind of non-committal text conversations and not trying to have a real discussion with Net, the relationship probably ended the day that Coda made the decision to save Stefan. And they're both just hanging on to something that is already over at this point. Until Coda changes her behavior, that's kind of just where we're at.
Because the only thing I can see is if it had been within like maybe a few days, hopefully within a day after everything happening, just being like, listen, I know you're going to be upset, but he's still alive, and it is my fault. And you know now, like, but in character, I mean, it's a rough situation. You're just trying to do it right, so I kind of feel for Coda on that.
I could make arguments that saving him was what was right, but
I could too.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I could too.
Because, you know, mass murderer and all.
I'm trying to champion player decisions no matter how bad they are.
I mean, me too, obviously, because I let them do it.
You know, I could definitely agree with you there. I could still think of many reasons why. Yeah.
13 of them? 13 of them? No.
At least.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah, there it is. Oh, you got any questions?
Nope, I'm all tapped, honestly.
All right.
Then take us home, Solomon.
Very well. This has been After Dawn. Thank you all so much for listening in. We appreciate you all taking the time to listen into your Hallowed Studios news. These episodes will go out on Thursday around noon for a $5 plus tier on the Patreon. So if you are a patron, you're going to be enjoying this. If you're not, you're going to have to wait a whole month. So feel free to think about signing up so that way you can keep up to date with your talk news. I'm Solomon. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.